Hello everybody and welcome back to my Weeb Den. So last week I said that I didn't want to talk about YouTube Red in my news video because we didn't have enough information about it and I felt like a lot of it was speculation. At this point there still is a lot of speculation. We're in the free trial phase of YouTube Red and it's still fairly speculative. But we have more information now, people are asking more questions, and you might have noticed that this video is called My Concerns with YouTube Red. The reason being that I have a lot of concerns with YouTube Red and I think there are still some gray areas that we're not sure about. Possible concerns about the future after using a subscription platform like this. So I just kind of wanted to round up all of those thoughts and share them with you. For those of you who have no idea who I am, you might have stumbled onto this video and you're just like, I don't know who this person is, but they have apparently got opinions. I am coming at this from the viewpoint of a person who has been on YouTube for 5 years now. I've pretty much always had a middle-of-the-road channel, right? So I'm not coming at this from the standpoint of a very, very small channel, but I'm also not coming at this from the viewpoint of like a Markiplier or a Harto, right? Like I'm not a huge channel, I'm not a baby channel, and I've been around for a while. So I feel like I'm in a good position to talk about this. Okay, so what is YouTube Red? Where did it come from? Why is it happening? YouTube Red actually started off as a service that has been around for a while called YouTube Music Key. And this entirely focused on the music area of YouTube so that you could be streaming music without ads, so that it wasn't interrupting the song, so that you could be playing a playlist and there weren't any problems, so that you could be, you know, on your phone using other apps and the music would continue to play. Things like that, basically to make the playlist experience of just hanging out, chilling, listening to music a bit easier. They have since rebranded it to YouTube Red to have it apply to all of YouTube, right? So now they're saying we're offering an ad-free experience for all of YouTube. Not only that, you can also, with your mobile devices, you can download a video and watch it offline. And there's going to be premium content that's only available on YouTube Red. So at first a lot of people were saying, oh, this is like YouTube's version of Twitch Turbo, right? But they're trying to make it more than that. They're trying to make it so that the subscription cost, which is $10 a month, feels like it's worth it, that it's not just I'm paying $10 to not see ads, that you get more out of it. Mobile users, I think, are really excited about it because you can, like, I could take my iPad, say, and if there was an entire web series or an entire cluster of sketch comedy videos from the same person, I could download all of those onto my iPad and then watch them on the plane, right? And have it be totally legitimate. You can choose what quality you want them at so that it's not taking up a ton of space or so that it's in perfect quality, right? Like they're trying to give you lots of options there, which is really nice for mobile users. So in terms of viewers, I feel like it's mostly beneficial. There aren't like a ton of problems. There are a few things that apply, but as a content creator, there are some concerns that have been coming up over and over and over again. So let's address those. The biggest problem that keeps coming up over and over and over again, which has been confirmed as much as it possibly can be, is that this will be sort of a rich get richer situation, right? Everybody pays for their subscription. If you're part of YouTube Red, you pay your $10, YouTube takes their cut, and then the creator cut goes into a big pool. And then from there, it's distributed to everybody based on how many minutes have been watched of their content. So if you are a YouTuber and you go to your analytics page right now, you will notice that the auto sort for your top 10 videos is no longer based on views. It is now based on minutes watched because that is the primary analytic at this point. So the problem there that a lot of people are seeing is, say that one of you literally only watches Jesse Cox and I, right? We are the only people that you watch. Your money is still going to go into a pool that is split amongst everyone on YouTube. So the people who already get tons of views and, you know, millions and billions of minutes watched each month, they are going to get the primary amount of subscription money. Whereas tinier channels who maybe make smaller, shorter bits of content are gonna get pennies. Is it possible for someone to actually make less money through this YouTube subscription service than they would have made if the people had just watched the ads on their channel? Yes, that's absolutely possible, especially determined by whatever sort of content they make on their channel, because that means that different companies are going to be buying up their ad space and potentially would have paid a lot of money for that ad space, but people aren't watching the ad. That is like such a slim chance. It probably won't happen, but it is possible. It is a possibility for sure. More likely than anything, all of us are going to see a little bit of a bump. Tiny channels are going to see just a tiny bump. Middle-sized channels are maybe going to see like a little bit of a bump. Big channels are going to see a huge bump because, again, they already get so many views, so many minutes watched, and that's what this is based on. For a while there, the rumor was that your subscription money goes into a pool based on who you watch, which would have been amazing. So, like, again, if it was somebody who only watches Jessie and I, but they watch more of Jessie than they do of me, Jessie would get a primary cut and I would get whatever's left. Unfortunately, that's not what's happening, and I think if they were to, any of you who are programmers, I'm sure hear that and are like, that would be a nightmare. Like, how would they even do that? Which has been across the board the response. Like, that's not how it's gonna work. There's no way. And it's been, again, it hasn't been like in an official statement confirmed, but for the most part, that's what everybody is saying. And building off of that, as a viewer, it's not like with Twitch, right? With Twitch, you subscribe to a person. You know exactly where your money is going. You know that some of your money is going to Twitch, the platform that we are using, and that's fine. And you know that the rest of the money is going to that specific content creator. So you are choosing who to support with your money. In this situation, you don't get to choose. You know that, you know, your money is being put into a pot that will eventually help out that specific person. But you aren't deciding to help them specifically. And because of that, from our point of view, we have no reason to tell people to use YouTube Red. And you might say, well, but Dodger, didn't you just explain to us that everybody's gonna see a little bit of a bump? Like, why wouldn't all of us be encouraging the use of YouTube Red? And I think the answer is because it doesn't feel like we're helping ourselves as much as we're helping people who already get tons of views. So the enticing aspect of that whole situation just really isn't there for us as people who could potentially sell this service. Now, a more like, ooh, spooky conspiracy theory is that we would slowly over the course of time lose control of our ad placement. Now, what that means is the idea is, okay, if YouTube is going to be trying to create a situation that encourages people to use YouTube Red, why not just make it so that there are way more ads than before, right? Remember when Hulu started, for those of you in the US, remember when Hulu started and it was like, oh, you get an ad every now and then, but it's only like one. And now when you watch Hulu, it's like, oh, 5 ads, cool, I might as well watch TV. Like, that's sort of, people are wondering whether or not that's going to happen to YouTube, where we've had this user interface for so long that allows us to choose an exact time for when there's an ad, like an exact break point, whether or not we want pre-rolls, post-rolls, like a mid-roll, you know, whatever. We can put them wherever we want. Will we reach the point where we don't have control over that? Or where we put in a mid-roll and then it plays like 3 of them instead of just the 1? Now, I think that that's a little extreme. Especially since, like I just said, we've had this UI that has been developed and rehashed and made better for so long now to allow us to have complete control over where our commercials go, that it doesn't make any sense for them to scrap that. It really, really doesn't. They wouldn't take the time to give us this whole process if they were gonna rip it away from us and be like, you know what, never mind, we're just gonna put ads wherever we want. They've always been pretty good about putting that power into our hands, and some of you are gonna say, well, I remember a few times when that system has been mega broken and I've seen like 10 ads back to back. And yeah, that has happened before, but that's never been intentional, right? The potential for there to be 2 pre-roll ads before a video starts, or 2 mid-roll ads in the middle of a video, I could see that happening, but we have no reason to believe that it will. So I'm not going to assume that that's going to happen. And speaking of ads, since we know that they're going to be putting like premium content behind the paywall of YouTube Red, which is totally fine, like do whatever you want, what counts as an ad-free experience? Right? And some of you are going to say, oh, it's pretty obvious, but is it? In this day and age, in this era of brand deals all over the place, does an ad-free experience also include brand deals? Will that mean that all premium content on YouTube Red is never branded, is never involved with a company that's paying the money in order for them to make it? I highly doubt it. If YouTube Red is a response to low ad sales and money just in general, as, I mean, of course it is, it's a subscription, it would make very little sense to me for them to say, all right, we're also going to throw brand deals out the window for this entire service. I would guarantee that brand deals will be involved in the premium content that you see. Maybe not all of it, but some of it for sure. And are we just like totally burned out on subscription services? Like, have we reached this saturation point where it's like, my God, I have to subscribe to everything. I subscribe to like 5 or 10 people on Twitch, who knows? I have Hulu, I have Netflix, I have Crunchyroll, and now YouTube Red, and maybe like 4 other things that I forgot I even subscribed to. Like, we are in this weird vortex. We are in this weird internet vortex right now where it's like, it's just like $5. Or it's just like $10. That's like 2 coffees. You know, we just want some, like, that's not too bad. But once there are so many of them, and Patreon, God, I don't even know how many people I support on Patreon. Like, all of that pushed together is a decent amount of money every month. And I think people are starting to reach this point where they're like, God, can I just have something? Like, can I just have a thing that doesn't have some sort of a paywall to allow me to have a better experience? But that's where we're at right now. And let's be honest, in the end, it still won't stop AdBlock. Like, there will be a small group of people who are gonna look at YouTube Red and be like, oh my gosh, a legitimate way to get rid of ads, to support the creators, still without seeing the ads, right? Which is what a lot of people wrestle with, where they're like, I forgot to whitelist you, but I know that the ads support you, but I really don't want to watch them, but And also, being able to download videos for offline viewing, which is something that a lot of people get extensions in order to do anyway. Some people are gonna see that and say, all right, a legit, sanctioned way to do that. Awesome. But let's be honest, free always looks better than $10. Like, that's just the fact of it. And so many people have AdBlock at this point. They're like, why? Why bother? Why would I do that? I think in general, we're all gonna see a little bit of a shift upwards in terms of how much money we make. And that's great, whether it's just like a smidge, just like a little itty bitty bit, or if it's big. Over the last couple of years, we know that watch time has been a really important analytic in how much money we make off of a video. Like, that's just a fact. That's one of the reasons why you might notice a lot of the really short form, well-made content has vanished or has just stopped being quite as prevalent because people don't make the same kind of money off of it. You make more money on longer videos. Which is interesting because I think one of the things that makes YouTube so nice for people is that they can just sort of like pop over and, you know, eat a bagel bite of content and then move on with their day. But that's not what we get rewarded for. We get rewarded for whether or not people are watching from start to finish. Retention is a really important analytic. So yes, AdBlock has been hurting us, and YouTube Red will probably help us out a bit, but that doesn't mean that we don't have our share of concerns about how it's going to affect the future of YouTube. And some people are saying, oh, well, I mean, Twitch has announced that people are going to be able to upload videos to Twitch instead of YouTube. Like, maybe that's going to be the future. To me, at least, YouTube is always going to be great at doing what YouTube does, which is having a place for you to upload videos and for people to go and watch them whenever they want. Twitch is always gonna be amazing at live streams. They are great at what they do, and their efforts to destroy one another I don't think are ever gonna work out the way that they intend. People don't go to Twitch to watch VODs. They just don't. And maybe having an upload service on there would skew that, would change the ecosystem a little bit. But I mean, YouTube having live streaming didn't change the ecosystem. People still, even if they watch a live stream on YouTube, if that YouTuber has a Twitch page, people use the chat on the Twitch. They'll watch the YouTuber live stream on YouTube and then have the chat open on Twitch because chat is so borked on YouTube. Like, there are too many issues where they're trying to figure out how do we make a user interface that isn't a carbon copy of them, right? Like, YouTube is looking at Twitch and being like, we can't just make it look like Twitch, we gotta make it different, but Twitch has figured out how to do it right. And I think Twitch is gonna have the same problem where they're like, we can't just have an upload service that looks identical to YouTube, but that's what people are used to. And it's gonna be just like what happened with MMOs, guys. It's gonna be people saying, how do we make it in that area of the market without copying the best form of it? And that's gonna take so much time and it might never work. So anybody who's relying on Twitch to just like take over at media, I don't think we would want that anyway, because having companies compete with each other is always going to create the best product for us as consumers, as viewers, as creators, all of it. So those are sort of my feelings, my concerns about YouTube Red in general. Right now, the trial is only available in the US, so any of you outside of the US who are like, I could be doing it now. You can't. They're rolling it out to the rest of the world over time while they test it out and see how it goes. But I don't know. I haven't heard an opinion yet. I haven't heard anybody say, oh, I'm actually digging this, versus, oh, I haven't noticed a difference because I've used AdBlock my whole life, right? It's gonna take a bit for us to get the data in and see how it works and how it's doing. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have opinions that I did not voice, you should put them in the comment section. Have a discussion, but be respectful to one another. And I hope you enjoyed. Apparently they're doing gardening. There's gardening happening right now, so we ended at just the right time. Have a great day, guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys next time. Mwah! That was weird. Mwah, mwah. One finger kisses, because the whole hand is busy, apparently.